happening.
Yeah.
Maybe you will have some questions. I don't know. We don't have any really agenda. We just knew that we want to do this, that we connected through the song, through the sound. And I think we both are passionate about finally transforming this world into a place where you can breathe in a rightful, embodied way, which is very, very slow.
Very slow. Yeah.
So I think I'll introduce myself, and then I will let Malka introduce her and like share how is this happening? Like, what's going on? What's your process, goddess? My name is Dr. Ira Kotlik. I'm trained as a clinical psychologist and a certified sex, love, and relationship coach with a tantric approach. I work mainly with women just because men are still not up to speed. But if you guys are, here I am. Of course, would love to work with you too, and couples. I have a little, thank you. I
Yeah.
have a little retreat center in California where you can come and do retreats in nature, one-to-one, face-to-face, with sauna, with a hot tub, with all kinds of magic. But I really also like to work online. And actually, this is where in the world of technology, I found music of Malka, the song Queendom. And I just, it went, I think I was here in this room with this, so here I have a good sound system. And something from the first, like the opening of the door, and I kind of felt like welcome inside her. Like I'm saying this now, and my hair, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like it's standing. Welcome inside her, and it was like as if it was my voice saying this to me. And then the way you begin to sing, it's right away. The sound is very wombic. I continuously experience it as if I'm right away in the sphere. And then and so that also creates a very interesting experience of being like, so I can talk on and on and on, and probably I will insert this. I also would love to go over lyrics because they're powerful, so I have them in front of me too. Can you please present yourself and dive into your story?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so good to connect with you also. It's just been truly the biggest blessing to be connected and connecting with sisters through this song. I think it's the first time in my life also where I'm connecting with sisters literally from around the globe from this song. So I've been in Israel the past decade, and I would say my interactions with people were pretty insular in terms of who I was meeting. Everyone was from, Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, and that was sort of, my circles. And I think this song gave me this really incredible experience of just blasting my world open. It blasted my world open. Um, and something really interesting that happened right before I released the song, as I was editing the music video, I was feeling this edge of I've never released something like this before. I've never released a video that was sort of obviously very sensual. My sensuality was totally, um, just on center stage, and I never really presented myself in that way. Although it was something that always is like the biggest part of my heart. Um, I grew up very religious, so my sexuality and my sensuality was something that I covered up, and I had no understanding of how to be in relationship with it. And so this song for me, when right before I released it, I felt this edge of, oh my gosh, this is a deep truth of mine that I haven't shown to the world. I'm scared, and that feeling of the scaredness, I now am able to pinpoint as this is probably a piece of art that is going to liberate not just yourself, but the world. And it's it's amazing for me to have pinpointed that feeling of, if I know this is gonna liberate me, this is gonna liberate others. It's like we give the medicine we need. So
Right.
it's
And
like
I
that.
want to maybe add, I think that the reason, or I think the reason you are experiencing it like that, because the way the song, at least it touched me on a very deep level. And
Mm,
on this level, there is this experience of unity. It's almost like, how the trees and the mushrooms are connected as a mycelium, and they're all forming this one web. The same way I feel our hearts are really forming this one web. And when you go that deep inside of you, then that expansive sense of self emerges. And so that if something moves me on this level, I can see that the entire web, entire fabric of our energetic heart is going to be infused with that.
totally, totally. And I believe also that along those lines, that every piece of timeless art was brought down right from the collective cloud, was brought down from the collective consciousness. So if it's created from that place, when people listen to it, they're going there too, because that's just where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. When I hear that, that totally makes sense to me. That's where that song is from. It's actually really interesting because when I wrote that song, it was not a profound feeling. I actually had come back from a really bad date, and that's how the song came out. But nevertheless, there was that.
Oh, I
Uh,
love that. I love that. Yeah,
yeah, it
like
it
you
was.
didn't know it's coming actually.
Yeah, no, it was probably one of the worst dates I've ever been on. It wasn't a moment of where I had this bigger understanding of myself and my femininity. It was literally this god awful night, and I came home and it literally came out of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the one in you, she's like, okay, honey, enough. It ends
Yes,
here.
totally,
Okay,
totally.
I
It
heard
was
you, I watched you, enough. I'm coming in.
exactly, exactly. It was my inner queen just coming out and being like, well, it's time for this song now.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wish I had like I want to turn the music on now and let the music,
Ah!
but I don't have to do it. Okay, you are
Uh,
here.
by the way, is this sound okay?
I think it again went a little like
So
it
this
can
is
be.
better?
I think it's better. Yeah,
Okay, so we'll do that.
I do think it's better.
Yeah, all
Oh,
right.
oh, you have such a wonderful voice. I just.
Hi, thank you. Yeah.
I also wanted to add something, maybe for also people who are listening and other women who will be listening and men and resonating. I want to recommend a book. It's called Kedesha, and it's written by Israeli, I believe, also Tantra teacher. And it's about the prehistory of mono-religious direction in Judaism, and then later, Christianity, Islam, that there were two temples in Jerusalem. One was of the goddess, of the priestesses, and they were making love. That is, when I say love, I mean a fully embodied love. At the level, at the way that the person, and with, it's really all ceremonial. So it's really, you need to be able to be ready. But that's a very deep, mystic place. So there is a temple of the goddess, and then there is a temple of the god. And the priestesses and priests from these temples would be really understanding that whatever we call God is to making love.
Mm, totally. 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 Totally.
And I
Yeah.
feel that the Ishtar, the priestesses, she's coming on through your song so strong. And she's like, honey, I am here. I am here. I am big. I'm sexy. I'm powerful. I'm unapologetical. And I hear
Yeah.
it in your song, and these other songs, Maya, unapologetically. What's her
Yeah.
name?
Yeah. Yeah. Maya Stark.
Mayada, maybe, or something like that. Yeah, like this different, the tribe, the song that I sent you, this different voices, they are bringing this vibration, and it's actually a vibration which I also find very, very beautiful, because if the previous version had like more angelic, like together, all one, la la la. My husband is very much into reggae, so he's like, and funk, so I can really see like it's birthing through him too. And it's like something is like, okay, honey, it's beautiful, I love you, but I'm also this. So that's something like,
I can't tell you how much I resonate with that also. It's when I first started also my music journey, my mother would always tell me, I want to see more of your fire. I want to see more of that.
I love your mother.
Oh my gosh, you would love my mother actually. Because I think I would tend to veer more toward the angelic sort of, all the songs were very redemptive and liberated. Like they were very they didn't get into that sacred fire, the darker shades of red that color my femininity, if that makes sense. And I think in general it's also something that I strive to bring more of to my art, is the rawness, the raw realness, because I know that I naturally have a tendency to not go there.
Yeah.
But it's actually where all my power is. It's actually where all the it's where all the meat is. It's where all the juice is. It's where the real liberation is, when I'm really able to just be totally unapologetic about
Can we
my
drop into
fire.
it now? What do you think? Can we like
Yeah.
embody it?
Yeah.
And if you
She's
want to
like,
guide us or whatever, you are.
yeah. So, mm. So dropping into our fire, what does that feel like? So if you want, you can close your eyes and you can imagine a color of maroons and reds right in front of you. And you can take a deep breath in and invite this color forward to cover your torso, feeling the depth of this color, feeling the depth of this hue. And to me, this hue of red and maroon, you can let it symbolize the depth of your passion, the depth of your passion for life. And the depth of your passion for life is also the awareness of death, right? So there's always a death in my fervence and in my connection to life. I must always see death as part of life. And this is coming to me right now, just this element of death, because that's also what I feel being in my fire feels like. It's embracing the death and the life in every moment. Yes.
You know, I love that God and goddess, Dev and Devi in Sanskrit, it's the same sound, death, Dev,
Ooh,
Devi.
I love that.
No.
Yeah.
And I truly seconded as a Tantra teacher that we will never, I believe, experience deep satisfaction if we do not learn to love death and destructive part of the mother, the way we love her light and compassion and everything. So the light part and the dark part of ourselves. Because if we reject this, we reject her heart. We reject, one of the women told me, Ira, sometimes I feel like my heart is black. And she almost like felt shame around it. And I just wanted to stop her so that we can hang in that darkness, in that, in forests, under the starry night and sky. I want us to go into darkness in our hearts. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I think the way to also enter darkness is through art, and it's through sisterhood.
Tell me more.
Being,
Tell me
I
more
feel
about the
like,
sisterhood. How do you go?
yeah,
Like,
I feel just, there is the greatest healing. Wait, hang on. Someone's saying they can't hear anything
oh
on.
yes, I see that. I can hear. I don't know if it's just me. Oh, I wonder if can
Can you
you
hear me now?
can you hear both of us or none of us? What if I take out the mic? Let me take out the mic over here. Oh, okay.
Maybe. I think for me, let's see. Hello. Hmm. Very weird.
The phone doesn't take the sound.
Oh no, I think no, yours is working now. That should be good.
Is it
Let us know
working
if you can
now?
hear us now.
Yeah. Well, gladly we'll have the recording, so it's going
Yeah.
to be it's going to
Okay.
be good.
So yeah, I feel that. Hmm. So I feel that there is the greatest healing that occurs just in being witnessed by sisters specifically. So when I say, going into the dark places in our hearts, going into the dark places of our beings, so we do I feel I can do that through art and through being witnessed by loved ones, but specifically sisters. Um, in the act alone of being witnessed in it, it's profound healing I've experienced. Yeah,
Mhm.
just other sisters looking at you and just saying, "Sister, I see you. I
Yeah.
see you. I've been there too. I love you. You're welcome here.
Hmm.
We're
I
together
can
in this."
tell you that for me, it's a very rare experience. It's
Mm,
a very rare experience. Yeah.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
at least, women who I meet and with whom I work, and when I do retreats, I see how much mistrust actually there is. Especially I work with a lot of Russian speaking women, so
Oh yeah.
it's there.
Yeah. Wow. I just like historically, you think yeah, Russian history has caused women to mistrust one another in different ways.
Yeah, yeah. How do you feel that in your life this is something where you kind of is there for you the trust and the abundance of relationships that support that trust?
Well, honestly, since releasing really, so I released this song 2 years ago, and it really opened up a whole new chapter in my life. Truly, truly, um, to even to women's work, period. To women's work, period. It, you know, it. I mean, and it's an ongoing thing. I still feel, I have so much work. It's so much of my soul's mission, I think, in this life to work with women in the pursuit of our liberation energetically. That's so I feel like it's an ongoing learning for me with women, but even just I've done a couple of retreats, after this song, and um, yeah, just opening worlds to me in that way. I have a dear, you probably actually might know them in Israel. A couple of my
Yeah.
friends who are in,
Oh,
yeah,
maybe. I know
like,
Ramona. I don't know. Are you?
yeah. So Ramona, we met once at a Tel Aviv sound healing ecstatic dance that I was doing sound healing at. Um, and you know Kira
No,
Zimmer.
I think I don't. Yeah.
She's a beautiful sister. She runs retreats in Israel as well. Um, yeah. So
I think that for me it's really like leaning into this trust and working through it within me. It has
yeah,
been very kind of intensely happening, especially for the past 2 years. So it began, 5 years ago when I opened my center and began this journey. Yeah.
yeah,
My
yeah,
story, I can tell you so I'm one of these women who from a very early age experienced being seen as beautiful and then not necessarily having reactions that I want people to have. So jealousy, that I for a long time I didn't even understand that this is what's going on. I didn't understand, why, my friend would be mean to me, like turn to be mean to me or something like that. And then later it was just something that was really hard for me to see, to open, to recognize.
yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. I think for me my thing with beauty was probably the opposite. I always felt I I always, you know, I got into makeup when I was really young because it was my way of like expressing and feeling beautiful. I think I never felt beautiful. Um,
Oh my goodness. I always felt like I have to hide, like I have to I have
yeah.
to because otherwise
Hmm.
it's too much. And the reaction, and especially, with men, the
Yeah.
attention that you're like, ooh, I'm like intensely sensitive creature. You have no idea. Like I feel your energy. Like
Totally. Step away.
you know
Totally.
and now
Totally.
imagine like growing up, like beginning this process in Ukraine, in Soviet Union at that time, where I literally couldn't be on the street after dark because it would be that dangerous to me. So there is a very high, high rates violence against women in Russia, in I think it's I'm not sure if it's only Russia or it's some other countries around it too, but it's 20 times more than in US.
Whew.
Yeah,
Wow.
20.
Yeah. Yeah, and imagine what that does to your nervous system growing up as a young woman, you know?
Yeah.
It's like never safe to be or feel beautiful. And, you know?
Or
So,
you kind of like this beauty begins to be used as a tool to survive,
yeah.
essentially, in
Mm,
this world, to somehow navigate in this world. So it's
mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing to navigate as a woman, just our beauty and yeah.
And then find myself in California, few decades,
Mm.
few decades in Israel, California. It's like my consciousness, my mind is. Did you see the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No.
But it's like this sense that the consciousness begins to kind of split into almost like different personalities, because you
Mm,
can really see, oh, I can really be this woman, I've been this woman, and I can see myself where I would go if I stayed there. I can see myself being woman if I was in Israel, right? I can see myself being woman. And a big part of my passion is how can I bring all our consciousnesses together, because in a sense there is like I can almost hear maybe some of the women I work with who are like looking at Malka and thinking, I could never
mm.
use my voice like this. I
Oh
could
my gosh.
never embody. And there is a grief and there is a pain and there is like all kinds of things. um and I do see all of us. It's just like so beautiful that we are coming together, and I see it as a part of a much bigger process of all all of us coming together, and how much, compassion and tenderness we need, and to understand that we are actually coming from a very, very different lived experiences. So maybe I will
Wow.
share just for this woman that one thing that always helped me is to start where I am today. Start where I am today. Start where I am today and draw the love powers into that human, because no one else will. It's you and your consciousness.
Totally. Yeah. Wow. Also, if I could respond to one of those women who, let's say, would look at that video and say, I couldn't do that. I'm too whatever, I would love to sit across from that sister, truly. I would love to, and just say, sister, I am you. I am you. I I hold the same. I hold the same fears. I hold the same constriction. I hold the same beliefs in whatever way. And like all I've done is chosen to create art with it. It's moving the beliefs, it's moving this energy, and liberating those stuck energies through art. And that's what queendom is, actually.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, on a larger scale, that's what the purpose of art is. It's to liberate the human experience, the constrictions of the human experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to tell you, so my husband is artist as well. He's a visual artist,
Mm.
animation and illustration. So, but it's the same choice from a very early age this human made. And I think to myself, you know what, guys, you are so brave. Like you artists are like, I don't know, you have a false ovaries of the size of the universe. I don't know. It's like
I
because
love that.
it's a very financially in this world, like how do you actually do this? So I know that again, like there are a lot of people, it's like how do you even like have time? And again, right, I'm not him, I'm not you. I'm only now getting to the art, really, like only now, like tasting, putting my toes inside. Just wanted,
Yeah.
to have that in space, again, compassion. And because, one of the other things that I noticed for me, that if I don't allow myself to stay in this uncomfortable, like, but I can't, and I'm not, am I an artist? And if I can stay in this discomfort, I cannot let the art push through.
Mm.
Because this is what I
Totally.
began to realize, that it's actually, I don't need to know anything. I just need to hang in there, to offer myself
Mm. Yeah.
as
And
an instrument.
I would also offer a question. I would ask the question of, when did you stop believing you were an artist?
Mm,
And pinpointing that would be like very interesting.
yeah, yeah, I
Mm.
totally see myself as a child when I was dancing. It was that long
Right?
ago. Yeah,
Yeah. So.
yeah. I just like immediately had this image.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was young, I mean, literally, I could stay in my room for hours just making things and like creating things with shells and, playing dress up by myself. And yeah, kids are naturally pure artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so curious also about these retreats that you hold in California.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this incredible piece of earth that I have a privilege to steward. It was very interesting how it found me. And I dreamed about this place long time ago when I was still in Israel, and it was hard for me to believe.
Wow.
I didn't understand why I'm seeing forest, why I'm seeing this little house. And eventually me and this land, we connected.
Wow.
And it wasn't even as expensive as usually houses in California are. So like things happened in it's very
Beautiful.
similar, you know. I listen to you like this moment, and I'm taking these lessons to myself too. It's really maybe a mistake to think that I create this kind of profound experiences, so that magic is really coming through. And like I'm just trying together with you to touch and see, how did we come to this place? Through all kinds of states and places, through like, because I really want more people just like you know, to be able to like, I see my clients really reaching to that place. You know, women coming to me and saying, "Ira, I want to have sex with existence," and then we dive into, you know, the relationship and what happens, and it's always incredible how the person thinks like, "Oh, this is my life, and this is, you know, the issues," and then we begin the work and drop into the body and drop into the heart, and you know, go really deep into the womb, into the pussy, and it's suddenly like, I don't know, like, fuck, I'm like totally sexually frustrated, and I'm in a beautiful partnership, and like it opens the entire can, what some people will say, can of worms. And that's again, it's like how you spoke about the death, and you brought the death without the death, that new upgrade, like the new, how do we learn? How do we learn to?
It reminds me of this beautiful experience I had. Actually, it was the end of a mushroom ceremony, and I remember looking at my hands. I was near the earth, and I remember looking at my hands, and my fingers were like penises. My fingers were the dick, but I had 10 of them. And I remember sticking them into the earth, and it was literally like I was having sex with the universe. Like, and I understood, my body understood in a new way what it meant to be like really connected and connecting with the earth. Of like, I think also nature is really important when it comes to us just being in touch with our feminine. Also, it's so important to be close to nature. I think it's just a really, really regulating reminder of what harmony or what symbiotic flow feels like. And sometimes I feel like the human body, especially in this day and age, needs a much greater, much deeper, more essential reminder. And nature is that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's the water, I feel like, in us that is, I think that the so for me, you know, there is a lot of like energy. I'm always trying to find words, but it's hard to find this experience. It is a sensory experience, you know. If I had to be the most, like, to do it the most sober human language, it's a sensory experience of really kind of cascading energy. Energy. It is energy. People learn to feel energy. Dudes, learn to feel energy. Come on. I don't know if you want to add any more, any better sounds, but it's the water element that is turning on, and we are 70%, right? Water. So
Yeah.
that's where the connection with bigger waters, with, because the entire planet is shifting, and this is why we're feeling it. So many people are feeling and connecting, and you know, these connections are made, the sisterhood, the brotherhood, the human kind, which is kind, actually kind.
Yeah. 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 In constant communication with our environments, whether we're aware of it or not, right?
Mhm.
We are energetic beings, so there's always a dialogue, you know? Yeah.
You know, what's happening for me right now is that all my attention is kind of drawing into a singular point here. It's interesting, actually. It's exactly the, I have this jewelry that only now I realize it's like a yoni and a penis. And
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
quartz. Quartz is Placerville, actually, the place where my retreat center is sitting on quartz. Like we have a lot of quartz in the, like we are literally a town on a crystal. I'm telling you, there are like Buddhists coming for 20 years from the school of Dalai Lama and doing their mandala in January for 20 years in
Wow.
this little place, you know, between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe in California. So everything in that moment of silence began to come into this point.
I love that.
What's
Yeah.
happening with you right now? And,
I'm actually
and
I'm feeling there's like a I don't know, I feel the magic in our conversation. I feel the magic in our connection also. There's like a I feel like we can meet.
yes, I'm curious what we
I
can
feel like
do. I'm like, let's do a retreat together. Let's do a retreat.
I could fly really easy with you. Like I'll just
Let's
go.
fly. Let's okay. So that's one thing. Tantra, a little bit of Tantra. Let's do, you were curious about my
Yeah.
retreats. Let's do a little bit of Tantra. So one
Yes.
of the things that happens with the way um when we expand, right? This happens when we expand. So this happens in all directions. And this is where there is an experience of the mind detaching and leaving the body. And this is actually so blissful to be disembodied. There is a lot of pleasure, there is a lot of relief and release, and that kind of a liberation that, by the way, is promised to all of us. As far as I know, I didn't ever hear about a human who never died. So when people rush into that stage, I'm like, listen, guys, it's promised. This is the one thing that you can be, like, you will be disembodied. Don't worry about it. I'm one of these humans who sometimes has very hard time and a fuss about being in a body. Like, how did I end up being in a body? What did, was it like, did I give Bodhisattva promise? What a stupid thing did I do? Right?
Definitely.
So we like being here. Now, this is actually a big problem because we are here as humans who are able to perceive this energy to bring and birth this new future, and not in a mystical way, in a very sober way. Malka is recording her song. The song is incredible. It's vibrational, the sound, you know, it all connects to the physicality that every single human can experience. So to do this work, let's fly. Let's fly. So let's stay in that energy, but now continue to be aware of the fullness of the truth of the moment. So fullness of the truth is also that, yes, I'm now universe. I'm like, and I'm actually with no psychedelics. So from being a child, and you're like, what are you doing? The world is coming at you, right? I mean, some are luckier, but some are less luckier. So I am this. I am the magic, and I am this human body. Ira Kotlik, Malka Russell, all of us in the place where we are in, with the conditions that we are in, all of us here now.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
fly, sister.
I love it. I think that's even such a valuable practice to also do when meeting virtually, because we're literally, up here. That's why it's really nice to do that virtually. Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
also I like to bring the attention. I am aware that the movement is really allowing us. So, you know, I've been in a groundation. Do you know groundation? Probably groundation.
Yeah, that's the song?
No, the whole ensemble, like the people, groundation,
Yeah, people
right?
lift my
So they
head.
were just, was it yesterday or 2 days ago here in Tel Aviv, and we were like there, like first front row, like And I was captivated by the two women. Like I was just the way I was always them. So, but the guy who is, I'm so bad, I don't even know the names, but the guy who was leading the show and who was singing, he's like, music at the end, like it's music, it's vibration, it's going to move. And I'm like, and dance, and dance. Hey, human consciousness and dance. So music and dance, and this is what is like a little tikkun for me, you know, a little like tikkun in the Kabbalistic term, which is like a kind of a corrective experience, is that here we are together and we are sounding and we are moving. We are moving. And the dance also shows the other, it also transmits a certain knowledge and, you know, of the water that we are.
Yeah, totally. You know, something also really interesting about dance. There's there's a lot of these there's a lot of dances. I mean, I started DJing ecstatic dance around a year and a half ago, and it's also been one of the biggest liberators for me. Just getting into the ecstatic dance world. There's something about dance, the alchemy, the way that dance is actually able to alchemize feelings of those fiery feelings, let's say rage and anger. There's something different about dance as an alchemizer than like, you know, taking rage, for example. Like there was always something that didn't feel totally authentic when I would express like anger or rage with like, you know, typical violent based
Right, it's
expressions.
destructive, right? So
Yes.
sometimes we need this power in us, but if
Mm,
you really just like kind of go essentially with a social conditioning type of an idea what
yeah.
means to be angry, but not in your body, because the moment you draw all the
Yes.
feeling into the body, the anger begins to transform into a raw
Yeah.
power.
Yes. Yes. Totally. And so and that's been a really interesting learning for me of like because I had done a couple of these like I never really connected with these like sacred rage practices. There was
Mhm.
something that just didn't feel authentic in my body. I felt like I was re-traumatizing my nervous system. It didn't feel true. Through dance, it's exactly like you said, it's the fullness of entering the body. It's coming
Mhm.
in, it's coming
Right.
in deep. Yeah, yeah.
And you can so embody it, you can so feel it, and it can be in this you know, very safe and actually calm container.
Yeah, totally,
That's like a
totally.
magic of the goddess, because she's both. She's both
Mm,
kindness,
yeah,
compassion, and power that will destroy you.
yeah, truly, truly. You see that, it's Mother Nature too, you know? She brings the hurricanes and she grows the flowers. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you, what do you think about going over the song, and maybe meditating together or kind of dropping into,
Yeah.
is this
If you
resonant or
want,
something else is coming up for you? I don't know.
um, yeah, I have my Shruti box here. I can play it on my Shruti box.
Wow, so special.
We can go over the lyrics as well. I'm open to that totally.
Well, maybe I will, what do you say? We will start with the, or we can do a song and then like go over lyrics. How do you feel?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can do that. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. So I love playing my Shruti box sort of with songs that they were not written on a Shruti box, but I love playing them on a Shruti box. So yeah, we can keep your eyes open or closed, whichever you're most comfortable with.
For whatever reason, just want to tell you that the sound is very low, you know, with this mic.
Very low.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Yeah. Maybe it will be.
How's this?
Yeah, that's good.
This is good?
Yeah.
Are you able to hear background
Yeah.
noises?
Background,
good.
I'm not sure. Can you do a background noise?
Saying. You can just hear my voice clearly?
Yes. I only can hear your voice. And now I can hear this.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. And in my queendom, it's a holy sanctuary, make a blessing on my body, 'cause I find it necessary in my queendom. I'll free my femininity. I'll let my body move while I got Shakti reigning over me, the queendom. Gave birth to all this energy. Yeah, in between my thighs, I got the universe inside of me, a queendom. I say welcome to the queendom. And in my queendom, all my walls are made of mirrors. So if you can't see yourself, let your reflection make it clearer. In the queendom, women praising other women, we're loving on each other like the way we should be living in the queendom. I say welcome to the queendom. And in my queendom, see, we are reclaiming what is ours. We can start a revolution when we learn to own our power in the queendom. It's time to stop pretending, people pleasing, playing weaker. 'Cause your power is transcendent in the queendom. I'm living with an open heart. 'Cause a queen knows how to feel the world and turn it into art. And turn it into art. Yeah. My queendom, it's a holy sanctuary, maker. Blessing on my body, 'cause I find it necessary in my queendom. I'll free my femininity. I'll let my body move while I got Shakti reigning over me, the queendom. Gave birth to all this energy. In between my thighs, I got the universe inside of me, a queendom. I say welcome to the queendom. Welcome, baby.
You. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for dancing.
It's such a powerful, energetic experience for me.
Thank you. It's so beautiful to witness you just enjoying it and vibing to it, truly.
Yeah, and I would love to share few, it's a holy sanctuary, make a blessing on my body, because I find it necessary. And I so find it necessary. So find it necessary. The most incredible, sacred, empowering, therapeutic intervention that I have is sex with my guy. The most powerful thing ever. It ties everything together. And I want each and every human to have this experience as their sexual experience and connection. And I don't know where it goes for different people, and even for me, like we are really, I feel like only now as humanity we're beginning, in Western world to explore sexuality and to like really look into things with a much more, just like all of this is me. I'd better just discover what's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the body is really important.
Yeah, it's our way to know God. It's through the body. Yeah. Lifelong learning.
Yeah.
But it's all through the body. Yeah.
And then I think that there are like I right away see the image of maybe a guy who doesn't know, well, like doesn't understand the concept of God and what it is, and this is where I find sometimes people kind of just disconnect again because we hear a sound, and I would offer a suggestion, just drop into the and let the word and the symbolism, the maybe mind accumulated drift, and stay just with the
Beautiful.
because I find it necessary.
Love that.
I free my femininity. I let my body move. I let my body move. Like if we, how many of us feel that we can dance? Because I don't look pretty. Who cares? No one cares. How far it is to drop into the body as if really no one is watching, and that's where the journey often begins, to recognize the fear, to recognize the terror.
Yeah. There's a beautiful sister on Instagram that said this, that the way that we meet ourselves in our dance is the way that we meet ourselves in our life. So it's like when we don't allow ourselves to dance because we think we look a certain way or we don't know how, and it's yeah, our ability to meet ourselves in our dance and really allow ourselves to actually express is really telling of how we also can meet ourselves in our
To
life.
liberate the dance from what other people think, what
Yeah.
is supposed to be, Shakti pads. Sometimes when it's coming over, like my body is literally shaking and moving, and part of that oppression is oppression of the body, the oppression that happened, in the culture that said your body has to be like you have to move in a specific way, rather than live in the truth and the natural wisdom of this
Yeah,
organism.
totally.
Such a
Yeah.
liberation. Like it's like I especially like almost like want to highlight. Look, this is
Oh
a
my God.
medicine.
I
This is like a
appreciate you
liberation
so
medicine
much.
here.
I appreciate you so much. Yeah. Yeah. I always, whenever I'm starting an ecstatic dance, also, it's like just guiding everybody in the beginning to really experiment, dropping out of the mind and seeing how your body moves. Because, before ecstatic dance, I wasn't, I could lock myself in my room also for hours and dance, but I didn't know that, I didn't know the ways that I could be danced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And you didn't know your body in the freedom. You didn't
Yeah.
know that free body
Yeah. Exactly. Like
and
I
the
always say, like when
power
I
and the
was
medicine.
totally, yeah, it's like it's less about dancing and it's more about being danced.
Exactly. Being
Yeah.
danced,
Yeah.
being moved.
Yeah.
I love that you claim Shakti experience. I love it so deeply. It's just again the reclamation of the energy of the experience that this is what animates me and I feel it. Yeah, I definitely grew in a place in a time where it is still like, oh, don't talk about energy if you want to be professional, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially you're a I don't know what you're a clinical
Clinical
psychologist or
psychology. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm kind. I don't call myself that actually anymore.
okay.
I really don't practice that anymore. Uh, I know what to do, what to do with people if they go completely wild in their just regulatory processes. I kind of seen it all.
Ah, yeah, I bet.
Very dark places as well.
I bet.
Give birth to all this energy in my queendom. In between my thighs, I have the universe inside of me. I love how the attention is being pulled. The attention, the mind is now being pulled by these words into my yoni, and then it moves up and it creates a complete circle. So to me, the essence of the mother, in my experience, the consciousness, I call her consciousness mother from its interchangeable words, is the circle. It's this conscious experience who wanted to look into itself, and it got sucked in because it fell in love, and it created this
Roomy, I
one
love it. Yeah.
cycle,
Yeah.
never ending. This is why it's never ending, because it's like time collapsing on itself.
Oh my goodness. Ah,
In my
ah.
queendom, all my walls are made
Woo!
of mirrors. Yes, stay present, stay in your body. Yes, but stay in your body. And I'm reminding all of us, we are here, a lot of work to do. We are still in the beginning, a lot of revolution, revolution of consciousness.
Uh-huh.
All my walls are made of mirrors. So if you can see yourself, let your reflection make it clearer.
Mm,
And then you go right into the healing of the sisterhood wound. So for me, it was extremely powerful because that sentence itself, all my walls are made of mirrors, liberated me from taking responsibility for other people's responses when they encounter me. And this has been such a huge block for me, in doing my work, because I'm too big. I'm a huge personality. Here I'm sitting with you. I'm not a singer. I'm like singing and singing with you. Right? Um, and what a different experience in the morning to open Instagram and to be like, sometimes like these people with big personalities, they are narcissists. This is how you know. And you can see like the therapists, like older generation. Yes. And they can be sometimes kind and well-meaning, but they are narcissists. It's like, why aren't you guys, first of all, like, how come you're just creating basically a label to say that you feel uncomfortable with a certain person? Like, because I see also spread of the psychological language
yeah.
to make people feel that something is deeply wrong with them and they have to be treated and healed for their life, rather than claiming that what you experience in my presence is your experience. What I experience in your presence is my experience. Let my walls be the mirrors. So whatever I feel in the presence with you, how humanity would look differently if I can understand that all that I encounter is me. When I have an experience with a certain part of me, it's mine. It's mine to work with, it's mine to heal, it's mine to do something with this. And I just want to complete, because it's like it went directly into women praising other women. We are loving on each other, like the way we should be living. We don't compare in shame or jealousy. We're busy celebrating the way that God created you and me. Each word is a diamond.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like in this one, it's like literally like they're just sisterhood wound healed. Like connect inside of you.
Yeah, it you know, it's also like bringing it back a little bit to also what you were saying before about constantly bringing in the compassion and the kindness. Like this sisterhood wound, like let's just take a look at this big fat ego that is scared for its life. You know, it's just scared for its life. And can I just look at that with compassion and say, baby, you're okay. You're okay. You know? Yeah. So
And also because I find that for some of us, it's a very real experience of being bullied by other women.
yeah.
To be very gentle with yourself, to know on one hand, you know, that it's there, it's true. You might encounter it and you will feel pain because it hurts, right? As much as self-love is incredible and love between people is incredible, the coldness, not being able to see the goddess, not being able to see the beauty in another is deeply painful. And we all experience this pain every single day. We are not meant to live in this disconnect. We are not meant to live in a lack of recognition. So when I love how you said, you know, it's okay. What I, you know, like what I want to birth with that is that, and feeling all these big feelings and pains, you will find that, as Malka, you say, you are okay. Just open your eyes, look at your physical body, realize that you will not die from emotions. No matter how big they are, no matter how much you go out, and you are still the body and you are not going to die from emotions. Feel, stay. So I like to embody it, like, and you know, if I'm in a situation with a person with whom I can't do this because they will just be like, ooh. I stay present. And it's also interesting, I don't know if you observe that too, that self knows how to modify the voice and the presence according to situations. So you can stay in a presence, right? You can stay with yourself, but it will look different with different circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Wow, honestly, I'm feel very grateful for also just this moment, your appreciation for these lyrics. I'm really touched. Really touched. Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's really everything that it was very mystical for me, truly mystical, because these are all the points that I'm working with, you know, the femininity, the divine, and the revolution. And when you were like, we are reclaiming what is ours. We can start a revolution when we learn to own our power. And I'm so like, I started podcast on Tantra, and the first episode is Revolution of Consciousness. And like, I'm obsessed. Like, I feel that, you know, as my name is Irina, peace, I'm here to just experience peace on this globe, a true global confederation. Sitting in Israel / Palestine, I am saying this, right?
Oh my gosh,
And for some people, me saying Israel is super explosive. For other people, me saying Palestine is super explosive. And it's like, can we finally see that we belong here, all of us? We gotta figure it out. And in a more larger, you know, concept, we share this globe, we share this land together. Enough, like we share it together, we must together figure this out. And it's true that we must reach the point where everyone feels that they are nourished, the justice is with them. It's really, we need to awaken to brotherhood, to sisterhood, because then things shift and change.
Totally.
And if we speak about Israelis and Palestinians, I think recently there was this research saying that we literally genetically are onto the big portion, like literally saying, people, come on, guys, like how long are we? Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I also saw this great line, when our bones return to the earth, maybe then we'll remember that we the land does not belong to us. It is we who belong to the land.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
believe?
Israel, Palestine. That's been a whole nother journey, also just moving out, and yeah, there's a lot there.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
this
so much.
hour.
I know, hour and 15. Yeah, thank you. Truly.
Well, let the revolution begin.
The revolution has begun, baby.
Well, maybe for me. Let the revolution begin for me, like really begin. Let me
Yeah,
catch up.
we're in this
Yeah, the
together.
revolution had begun.
Yeah, grateful for you, grateful for your energy and your presence and your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. To be continued.
Yes, my love. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.